New Music Monday.
This is Deacon Mayo, and welcome to Dead Channel Radio's New Music Monday. Every week we bring you songs you've never heard before, voices from the shadows, recordings from the edges, the lost, the forbidden, the unforgettable. This is where music finds its second life, and tonight is no exception. Tonight is not just another Monday. It's Labor Day. A day too many have forgotten, a holiday born not from leisure, but from blood, from strikes, from men and women who fought for the dignity of work. They marched in the streets, they carried banners, and some of them never made it home. Dead Channel Radio's New Music Monday will not let those voices fade. Tonight's broadcast is for the workers, the dreamers, the fallen, and the promise they left us. So, as the grills cool, the lakes fall silent, and the long weekend winds down, remember why this day was given. This is Dead Channel Radio, and this is our Labor Day special. Factories gave men their wages, and sometimes they took their lives. In the years when mills roared through the night, fire was the enemy no one could fight. Locked doors, narrow stairs, and flames that showed no mercy. The hollow pines sang for those who didn't make it out. A hymn for the trapped, the fallen, the forgotten. Their voices carried through union halls and midnight vigils until the pines themselves vanished into rumor. What survives is a single recording. Brittle, scarred, and heavy with grief. This is the hollow pines. This is ashes of the mill.
Smoke rose high where the black walls fell. There rang no bell, there rang no bell. Fingers clawed at the iron and stone, but the mill kept burning, left us alone. Ashes of the mill, ashes of the flame, names on the wind, but no one to name. We built their fortune, we paid their bill. Now we are nothing but ashes of the mill. Sang its hungry song. We prayed to God, but He kept still, and we burned together in the ashes of the mill. Ashes of the mill, ashes of the flame, names on the wind, but no one to name. We built their fortune, we paid their bill. Now we are nothing but ashes of the mill. They locked the doors, they barred the way, and said the fire would never stay. But we remember, and we will carry the ashes of the mill. Ashes of the mill, ashes in the rain, our voices rise, but none remain. The wheel still turns, the smoke drifts still, but we are gone in the ashes of the mill.
Those voices are long gone, but the fire still smolders in memory. The hollow pines sang for the trapped and the taken, and though their song is brittle with age, its grief has never faded. Ashes become dust, but the names remain. Dead Channel Radio remembers them tonight. Some voices never leave the highway. They echo down empty interstates, carried on the hum of power lines and the chatter of CB radios long past midnight. Johnny DeMarco was one of those voices. They called him Grave Shift, a racer turned tow truck driver who swore the road itself was haunted. In the ruins of an old garage, a reel-to-reel tape was found, his voice, his song, his curse. A long road, a lost race, and one last run he could never finish. This is Johnny Grave Shift DeMarco, The Long Way Home.
Midnight highway, steel and chrome. I drive these ghosts, but I ain't alone. Headlights fade where the blacktop ends. I've buried brothers, I've lost my friends. It's a long way home when the dead still ride. Every mile I burn, there by my side. Voices on the wire, whispers on the wind. The long way home never lets me in. CB crackles with a voice I know. Breaker, breaker from the grave below. Towing wrecks with a bloodstained hand. One more mile, but I'll never land. It's a long way home when the dead still ride. Every mile I burn, there by my side. Whiskey in my veins, shadows in the chrome. The long way home never takes me home. They said I died in '71, but the run ain't done. The run ain't done. It's a long way home when your soul's on fire, shifting gears on a funeral pyre. Hear my engine moan, hear the grave bell drone. The long way home never takes me home. The run ain't done. The run ain't done.
Johnny DeMarco walked out of the fire and never stopped running. The long way home was the sound of a man still carrying ghosts, one guitar, one voice, and 50 years of road behind him. A survivor's hymn, but never a victory song. Some songs were banned because of politics, others because they told too much truth, but then there were songs banned because they were too much for polite ears. The Cathouse Queens were queens of the underground, 3 voices draped in sequins, backed by brass, and fueled by sin. They burned through burlesque halls in the 1940s, left a trail of broken hearts and broken rules, until the law came knocking. Most of their records were seized, smashed, erased, but one survived. And tonight the needle drops again. Dead Channel Radio's new music. Monday presents The Cat House Queens, Too Hot to Handle.
We don't sing hymns in Sunday pews. We shimmy silk and slip off shoes. Boys line up just to get a peek. One wink from me, they're weak for a week. We're too hot to handle, too wild to hold. Bodies made of fire, lips painted bold. Strike a match, honey, watch us glow. Once you taste the heat, you can't let go. We sip our gin from satin cups. We lift our skirts when the trumpet jumps. Your preacher frowns, your daddy swears, but your mama hums our song on the stairs. We're too hot to handle, too much for the law. Shimmy like sinners, claw after claw. Feathers and lace, scandal and sin. Step through the curtain, the queens begin. Touch me, tease me, don't tell a soul. Taboo's the ticket to lose control. Take off your halo, polish my crown. Once we start burning, we don't cool down. We're too hot to handle, too loud, too free. Too sweet for heaven, too wicked for thee. The law can try, but the law won't win. 'Cause every time we fall, we rise again. Too hot to handle. Too hot to handle. Too hot to handle. Too hot. Too hot. To handle.
The Cat House Queens burned bright, too bright for their time. Whispers say their records were pulled, their shows shut down, their names blacklisted, but heat like that never truly dies. It lingers in smoke-filled rooms, in faded photographs, and now here on Dead Channel Radio. From the forbidden stage of the 40s, we turn to a commune in the desert, 1972. A place where masks, visions, and madness collided. Before there were masks, before the neon, there was only the desert. The summer of 72, a commune lost to the sand, and a vision that cracked their minds wide open. They saw the monkey, they heard the laughter, and they played until their fingers bled, trying to capture it in sound. Dead Channel Radio has recovered one of those reels, battered, broken, but still breathing. This is the Enlightened Few, before they were the Enlightened Few. Vision of the Monkey. Live at the Commune, 1972. the enlightened few. A vision, a frenzy, a prophecy. Madness pressed onto tape and buried for decades. A commune's fever dream, unearthed at last. Some say the great vision ended that night. Others swear it never stopped. Either way, what you just heard was not a concert. It was a ritual, and it was never meant to leave the desert. Before we close tonight, I need to pause for something personal. A life, a man, a worker. William Day, my Uncle Bill. He gave 94 years to this earth, most of them to the Santa Fe Railroad. He was a husband, a provider, a man of steel and smoke who kept the rails alive. And last night, at 11:59, he passed, just in time to catch the midnight train home. On this Labor Day, it feels right to honor him, and all the men and women like him who carried this country on their backs, mile after mile of track under the endless sky. Tonight, Dead Channel Radio remembers my Uncle Bill, the Santa Fe man.
He rolled the rails but never strayed. Santa Fe carried Bill Day. Steel and smoke, the hammers ring. 94 years, the song he'd sing. Santa Fe man, roll on, roll on. Your whistle's cry becomes our song. Through every mile, through dust and sand, we carry the name of the Santa Fe man. A husband's love, a worker's pride. The rails ran strong with him inside. From dawn to dusk, through cold and flame, the Santa Fe still calls his name. Santa Fe man, roll on, roll on. Your whistle's cry becomes our song. Through every mile, through dust and sand, we carry the name of the Santa Fe man. William Day, Uncle Bill, 94 years, and the tracks still sing your name. Santa Fe man, roll on, roll on. Your whistle's cry becomes our song. Though you've gone to that promised land, we'll always remember the Santa Fe man.
My Uncle Bill's journey ended last night, but the rails he walked will keep on running. William Day, the Santa Fe man, gave his years to the steel and the smoke, and to the people who depended on the trains that bound this country together. Tonight, we remember him. And in his memory, we remember all who worked, who fought, and who sometimes gave everything just to carve out a fairer life. By now, the grills are cooling, the lake's gone still, and the fireworks are just smoke on the wind. Another Labor Day almost done, but before we close the night, let's remember why we were given this day. It wasn't for barbecues or one last swim of the summer. It was bought in blood by men and women who struck for dignity, for rest, for the right to live like more than machines. Some of them never made it home, but their voices still echo if you choose to listen. Dead Channel Radio's new music. Monday closes tonight with a song to honor those voices. From the Mill City Settlers, this is Parade of the Fallen.
In New York they gathered, boots worn thin, with banners raised against the din. 12 hours a day, 6 days they bled, for bread on the table, for children fed. This ain't just a long weekend or a firework in the sky. It's for the hands that built the railroads, for the ones who had to die. Remember their voices, remember their calling. Labor Day's the parade of the fallen. Pullman men laid their bodies down, troops rolled in and fired round. Blood on the track, smoke in the air. The right to be human bought right there. This ain't just a long weekend or a firework in the sky. It's for the hands that built the railroads, for the ones who had to die. Remember their voices, remember their calling. Labor Day's the parade of the fallen. They fought for 8 hours to work, 8 hours to rest, 8 hours for what we will. Some never lived to see it. So don't just raise a glass or lie by the lake. Remember the blood, remember the stakes. For the ones in the mills, for the ones on the line. Labor Day's theirs and yours and mine.
You've been listening to Dead Channel Radio's New Music Monday, the Labor Day special. Tonight we remembered the workers, the fallen, and my Uncle Bill, William Day, a Santa Fe man who caught the midnight train home. Labor Day isn't just the end of summer. It's a memorial, a promise, and a debt we still owe. This is Deacon Mayo for Dead Channel Radio. Thank you for listening. Like, subscribe, and join us next Monday for more music from the shadows. Until then, rest easy and listen for the whistle in the night.